Today, I take a conscious pause to breathe deeply and honor everything I carried this year. 2025 wasn't easy. Between work demands, family responsibilities, taking care of everyone else's needs, I somehow kept everything running. The new year doesn't just begin on the calendar, it begins with me finally putting myself back on the priority list. I release the exhaustion of being everything to everyone. I released the guilt of not being enough, even though I gave more than I had. I released the weight of invisible labor that nobody notices until it's not done. This year taught me I'm stronger than I ever imagined, but it also showed me I can't pour from an empty cup forever. I did it. I made it through 2025. Every morning I showed up even when I wanted to stay in bed. Every meal I prepared with love, every problem I solved, every tear I wiped, theirs and mine, every deadline I met while running on fumes, every smile I wore while carrying weight no one could see. I didn't just survive, I held everything together. And that deserves recognition, especially from myself. Now, as 2026 approaches, I'm making a different choice. I choose to enter this year not just as a wife, mother, employee, or caretaker, but as a woman who matters. A woman whose needs are valid. A woman who deserves rest, joy, and care just as much as everyone she takes care of. I'm tired of being last on my own list. Tired of sacrificing my health, my dreams, my peace for everyone else's comfort. And I'm done feeling guilty about wanting more for myself, wanting time to breathe, wanting to feel beautiful again, wanting to remember who I am beyond all the roles I fill. 2026 will be different because I'm making it different. I'm setting boundaries without apology. I'm asking for help without guilt. I'm saying no to what drains me and yes to what restores me. I'm reclaiming my time, my energy, my body, my dreams, not selfishly, wisely. Because a burned out woman serves no one well. This year, I commit to myself, to moving my body because it deserves to feel strong, to nourishing myself with food that gives energy, not just comfort, to speaking kindly to myself the way I speak to those I love, to investing in my own growth, not just everyone else's. I trust that taking care of myself makes me better at taking care of everything else. 2026 is my year to rise, not just for them, but for me. Write in the comments, I deserve an amazing 2026. When you declare it, you claim it. When you write it, you commit to it. Getting through 2025 took a kind of strength most people will never understand. The strength to keep going when you're running on empty. The strength to smile through stress. The strength to hold space for everyone else's emotions while processing your own in silence. You juggled impossible schedules. Work deadlines while planning family dinners. Client meetings while mentally tracking doctor appointments, school events, grocery lists. You answered emails with one hand while stirring dinner with the other. You stayed up late finishing what you couldn't get done during the day because the day belonged to everyone else. You carried the mental load, that invisible burden of remembering everything, planning everything, anticipating everyone's needs before they even ask. You were the family CEO, and nobody even knew there was a board meeting happening in your mind 24/7. And through it all, you kept your marriage alive. You made time for your husband even when you had no time for yourself. You kept the romance going while running on exhausted. You showed up as a partner while feeling like you were disappearing as a person. Let me say what nobody else is saying. You're not superhuman. You're human. And you've been operating beyond human capacity. The fact that you made it through doesn't mean it was sustainable. It means you're strong. But strength doesn't mean you should have to carry everything alone. 2025 taught you what you're capable of. Now, 2026 will teach you what you deserve. And you deserve support. You deserve partnership that feels like partnership, not another dependent. You deserve rest without guilt. You deserve to prioritize yourself without justification. This year, things change. Not because your family suddenly needs less, but because you're giving yourself more. You're no longer waiting for permission to take care of yourself. You're no longer apologizing for having needs. You're no longer shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You're stepping into 2026 as a woman who knows her worth, who protects her energy, who models healthy boundaries for her children, who shows her daughter what a strong woman looks like. And strength includes knowing when to rest, when to ask for help, when to choose yourself. Your family doesn't need a martyr. They need you healthy, happy, and whole. And that version of you is born when you stop abandoning yourself for everyone else. Comment: I deserve an amazing 2026. Let's be honest, if nothing changes in how you operate, 2026 will drain you, just like 2025 did. Same exhaustion, same resentment, same feeling of losing yourself in the roles you play. And that's not sustainable. You can't keep being everyone's everything while being nothing to yourself. You can't keep running on adrenaline and obligation. You can't keep postponing your own needs, your own health, your own dreams indefinitely. Something has to give, and it can't be you. Stop waiting for your family to notice you're drowning and throw you a lifeline. They won't notice because you're too good at keeping everything afloat. They don't see you struggling because you've trained them to believe it's effortless. Your competence became your prison. It's time to break the pattern. Not by doing less for your family, but by doing more for yourself. Not by neglecting responsibilities, but by sharing them. Not by abandoning your roles, but by refusing to disappear into them. 2026 demands you reclaim yourself. That you stop performing strength and start protecting your capacity. That you redistribute the load you were never meant to carry alone. Partnership means partnership. Family means everyone contributes. Your needs matter as much as theirs. This isn't selfish. This is survival. This is modeling healthy womanhood for your children. This is showing them that women are not built to sacrifice everything, that mothers are human beings with limits, desires, and dreams beyond motherhood. You've proven you can handle everything. Now prove you're wise enough not to. Prove you value yourself enough to set boundaries. Prove you're brave enough to ask for what you need and hold people accountable when they don't deliver. 2026 is your year of redistribution, of balance, of equity in your own home, of teaching your family that loving you means respecting your capacity, not just benefiting from it. Stop being the hero everyone takes for granted. Start being the woman who honors herself enough to demand better. Your family will adjust. They always do. And they'll be better for it, because they'll finally see you as human, not just as a function. Comment: I deserve an amazing 2026. If you ended 2025 completely depleted, I see you. If you spent the whole year taking care of everyone except yourself, I understand. If you can't remember the last time you felt beautiful, rested, or truly cared for, you're not alone. You gave everything this year. You were the glue holding everything together. You were the problem solver, the peacemaker, the one who always figures it out. And nobody gave you a medal. Nobody threw you a parade. Most days, nobody even said thank you. But I'm saying it now. Thank you. Thank you for showing up even when you wanted to quit. Thank you for loving your family fiercely even when you felt empty. Thank you for working hard both in your career and at home. Thank you for being strong when you had every reason to fall apart. And now I'm saying something else. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to admit this year broke you down. It's okay to acknowledge you need serious rest and restoration. You're not weak for being exhausted. You're human for reaching your limit. Before you start planning how to serve everyone better in 2026, pause. Ask yourself, when do I get served? When do I get pampered? When do I get to be the one who's cared for instead of always the caregiver? This new year doesn't start with new meal plans for your family. It starts with a new commitment to yourself, to booking that doctor's appointment you've been postponing, to moving your body not to look different, but to feel strong, to eating food that nourishes you, not just whatever's left after feeding everyone else. It starts with looking in the mirror and seeing a woman worth investing in, worth spending money on, worth making time for. Not someday when everything else is handled, because everything else is never fully handled. Now, you're worth it now. 2026 can be lighter, not because you'll have less to do, but because you'll stop carrying it all in silence. You'll speak up. You'll ask for help. You'll accept that being a strong woman doesn't mean being an island. You're not broken. You're exhausted. And exhaustion heals when you finally give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Comment: I deserve an amazing 2026. You didn't end up here by accident. You ended up depleted, overwhelmed, and invisible because somewhere along the way you accepted that your worth is measured by how much you sacrifice. And that's a lie that needs to die in 2025. Your value isn't determined by how much you endure, by how little sleep you need, by how much you can handle before breaking. Your value is inherent. You matter because you exist, not because you produce or serve. Think about it honestly. When was the last time you did something just for you? Not something productive that benefits the family. Not squeezing in a workout so you look better. Something purely for your joy, with no justification needed. When was the last time you bought yourself something without guilt? Without mentally calculating if the money should go elsewhere? Without feeling like you need to deserve it by being extra good first? When was the last time you said no to something you didn't want to do? Without over-explaining, without apologizing, without softening the boundary with a million qualifiers? If you can't remember, that's your wake-up call. You've been living for everyone else so long, you forgot you're allowed to live for yourself too. And 2026 is the year you remember. You're not being dramatic by wanting more than exhaustion and obligation. You're not being selfish by wanting to feel alive again, by wanting to remember what brings you joy, by wanting to look in the mirror and recognize yourself. This year will bring change, but only if you initiate it. Your family won't volunteer to give you more space. Your job won't suddenly demand less. Your responsibilities won't magically decrease. You have to create the change by changing how you operate. Set the boundary. Have the hard conversation. Stop doing what others are perfectly capable of doing themselves. Let them learn to function without you managing every detail. The temporary discomfort of change is nothing compared to the permanent exhaustion of staying the same. You're not asking for too much by wanting equity, by wanting partnership, by wanting your needs to matter as much as everyone else's. You're asking for the bare minimum, and you've been accepting less than that for far too long. 2026 will either repeat 2025 or it will mark your turning point. The year you decided you matter. The year you chose yourself without apology. The year you modeled for your children what healthy self-respect looks like. The question isn't whether you're capable of continuing like 2025. You've proven you can survive it. The question is, why would you choose to? You deserve rest. You deserve joy. You deserve to feel beautiful. You deserve time that belongs only to you. You deserve a partnership where you're not the only one carrying the weight. You deserve to be more than a function in other people's lives. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for everyone else to be okay with you finally choosing yourself. They'll adjust, and you'll be better, which means they'll actually be better too, even if they don't realize it yet. Comment: I deserve an amazing 2026. You made it through the full journey. You acknowledged your strength. You confronted the patterns that no longer serve you. You gave yourself permission to rest. And now you're standing at the threshold of real transformation. 2025 is over. You survived it. You carried every weight, met every demand, and kept everything running. But survival isn't the goal anymore. 2026 is about thriving, and thriving requires you to finally put yourself in the equation. You're not the same woman who started 2025. You're stronger, yes, but also wiser. You know now that strength without rest is just burnout in slow motion. You know that being needed doesn't mean being valued. You know that sacrifice without reciprocity is martyrdom, not love. This year, you're making a different choice. You're choosing yourself not instead of your family, but alongside them. You're teaching them that your needs matter, that women are not bottomless wells of service, that love includes boundaries, that care flows both ways. You deserve a year where you wake up without dread, where you have energy left for yourself at the end of the day, where you feel beautiful not because you've lost weight, but because you feel alive. where you pursue something that's just yours, a hobby, a dream, a goal that has nothing to do with anyone else. You deserve mornings with coffee that you drink hot instead of reheated 3 times, workouts that make you feel powerful, not punished, meals that nourish you, not just fill you, sleep that restores you, friendships that feed your soul, moments of joy that don't require planning or justification. The woman who takes care of herself shows up better everywhere else. When you're rested, you're patient. When you're fulfilled, you're generous. When you're happy, you create happiness around you. Self-care isn't selfish. It's the foundation of sustainable caregiving. 2026 doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be different. Different priorities, different boundaries, different distribution of labor, different levels of self-respect and self-advocacy. You already know what needs to change. You've known for a while. Now you're finally ready to do it. Not because you suddenly have more time or energy, but because you've decided you're worth the disruption that change requires. If this message resonated with you, it's because you're ready. Ready to stop shrinking, ready to stop sacrificing, ready to model for your children what a whole, healthy, balanced woman looks like. Now is the moment to commit. Subscribe to this channel for continued support on your journey to reclaiming yourself. Like this video so it reaches other women who need this message. And write in the comments your declaration of worth. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment. I deserve an amazing 2026. This isn't just a click, it's a commitment to yourself.